Okay, I'm back. Sorry for the interruption. I had a phone call. Anyway, here we go back to that question again. The question was, how did it feel winning Worlds a second time? It really was an amazing experience for me. I had taken a 2.5, almost 3-year leave of absence from the game. I wasn't sure that I was going to be able to play anymore and compete at the level I was before I left. In 2007, I came in second in Worlds. And the fall of 2007, I got sick. Didn't compete that much, did go to Gen Con in 2008, but didn't do that well. And I really wasn't sure I would be playing the game again. But I decided to come back in 2011 because I missed the game and I missed my friends. And that was also the first year Game of Thrones was going to be debuting on HBO, so I was pretty excited to get back into the game again. And I did have some success winning a regional in 2011 and placing top 8 in 2011 at Worlds. And 2012 was obviously pretty successful. I won 2 regionals and I won the Worlds. So it was pretty exciting coming back and winning Worlds a second time. Also being able to create a deck that many people feel was a very creative, original deck. I feel great about the deck. I love the deck, the Targaryen Knights of the Hollow Hill deck, which I call Jump Around, House of Pain. It's a great deck. It's a lot of fun to play. Playing cards that a lot of people don't usually play was a lot of fun. Just a great time last year. The whole experience of playing at Gen Con and then Worlds last year and hanging out with everybody and coming back and being one of the oldest people to play the game and still do well was pretty cool. You asked me, in Europe, the AGOT LCG fandom has grown enormously over these last years. In 2013, it looks like Tourney of Stalock will surpass all expectations with more than 200 participants. What do you think about the metagame outside the US and especially Europe? I'm jealous. I wish we had that many people showing up. I have a feeling this year in November, when we have the World Championship this year, we're going to have our largest number. But I wish we can get the numbers that you guys have in Europe. What you guys did earlier this year at the Battle of the Wall, you know what happens, the Italian Nationals, the Tourney of Stalock. I want to go there one day. I really hope in 2014 I make it somewhere in Europe to go to one of these events. And I really hope I can get out there. I'm very jealous. I'm very impressed and very jealous. In these last years of the National European Champions, France, Spain, and Italy, you're getting the opportunity to fly to Minneapolis to participate in the AGOT World Championships. It would be fantastic if some of the best American players came to York sometime. What do you think of this possibility? I would love that. I have talked many times with Greg Atkinson and Matt Lay about trying to go to Europe one time. It is definitely something I would like to do in 2014. I've never actually even left the United States. It would be fun to go to Spain and Italy, 2 places I want to go more than anywhere else in the world anyway. And I know some people there that I could stay with. Right, Alvaro? Number 9. Lately, and based on the globalization of the game, and based on the globalization that the game has experimented through the internet community and online gaming with Octagon, there is a concept that is becoming really popular: net decking. Net decking is a hugely popular concept. We personally believe the creation of a deck by a person is a fundamental aspect of his or her ability as a player. What do I think about net decking? I think net decking is good and bad. The good part of net decking is it's a good idea to take somebody's deck and play against it, play with it and play against it, because you learn a lot about the community by playing different decks. You learn how to make your decks better by playing somebody else's deck. So personally, I like net decking for that because it is an educational opportunity for many people. The thing I don't like about it is sometimes people don't become original anymore. They don't actually try things. They don't try to make their own deck. When I made my deck for Worlds last year, I tried to make a pretty original deck. Now, Knights of the Hollow Hill is not an original idea. Playing Targaryen and using ambush is not an original idea. But all the recursion that I tried to put into it, some of the plots I played in the deck, some of the characters or cards I put in were definitely different. So I try to make my decks original, Sometimes I look at the decks on AGOT cards, for example, and try to build my own version and make changes. That I think is great. Everyone needs to personalize everything. But to just completely take a deck and copy it and use it as your own, I'm not a big fan of that. I don't like that. And I don't think you become a very good player by doing that. Number 10. And something about the Song of Ice and Fire universe. When did I discover the work of George Martin? In 2003, I was playing another card game, and that card game was dying. I was playing the Buffy card game. And I was actually a world champion before in the Buffy card game. And I needed another game to play. And I happened to be at a convention and saw a Game of Thrones. So I picked it up with a friend and started playing it. Never heard of the game, never heard of the books, but I decided to play the game. After playing the game for a few months, I decided to read the books. Loved them. I mean, my favorite book series ever. So now I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan, aside from the card game, but of course the Westeros universe, the whole A Song of Ice and Fire universe. I love it. It's a huge part of my life. So, I love everything about it. What is my favorite moment from the saga? My favorite moment from the saga is probably the Red Wedding. I just love the brutality of the Red Wedding. That George R.R. Martin had the balls to be able to kill a really popular character, even more than killing Eddard. And killing a character when everything looked like it was going so well for him. I just love when Martin rips out the hearts of people, because it's something that a lot of authors don't do. So the Red Wedding is probably one of my favorite scenes in the whole entire book series. Who's my favorite character? My favorite character is Tyrion. I think everybody loves Tyrion. He's a smartass. He's somebody you root for. Everybody roots for an underdog. So I really like Tyrion. I'm also a huge fan of Davos. I like Sir Davos a lot. I guess everybody again roots for an underdog. You got to root for somebody who has no fingers. And I also really like Arya. I really like Arya's chapters. I hate Daenerys' chapters. Her chapters are so boring in the book. I hate them. They're boring in the book. They're much better on a TV show, but they're very boring in the book. Plus, she's very hot on the TV show. And we can root for her to be naked because she's over 18 on the TV show, where she's not in the books. But that's okay in Europe, I think, right? Anyway, I won both of my championships by playing Targaryen. Is this my favorite house? In the books, my favorite house is actually Stark. I'm still a Stark fan. I still root for Arya. In the end, I hope that Arya is the badass at the end. I actually really like Stannis in the books too. I forgot to mention that. I really like his character a lot, and I really hope he is somehow involved in the end in a good way too. But my favorite house in the books is Stark. My favorite house to play is actually Lannister. I have played more World Championships using Lannister than any other house. I came in second in 2007 with Lannister. I came in seventh in 2003, the very first championship with Lannister. I've played Lannister a lot. Lannister's probably my favorite house to play. By the way, I really like Jaime too. Jaime's one of my favorite characters. What do I think of the future of AGOT LCG? I think the future is amazing. They're going to have more design, more new sets coming out. George R.R. Martin will release new books. We got new characters to put in. Still a lot of characters in Dance for Dragons that need to come out. The TV show is popular, more popular than ever. So it's going to bring more fans into the game. So I think the future looks pretty bright for the game. So I'm pretty happy with the direction of the game and of the community. And lastly, and I can't say too much, but can I tell you something about my card I get to design for winning the 2012 World Championship? Yes, I can tell you something. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, but since you're putting it in Spanish and in Europe, people from the United States might not even see it. But I will give you guys a special sneak preview. It has something to do with this house. I get to create a card that's never been created before. I have a character who was not alive before the books began. So I wonder who that could be. Let's just say it's a very, very fiery attitude. And I hope that I'm involved in fire in some way on the card. That's all I can say. So I hope that you enjoyed this interview. And I hope to see Alvaro and many other of you come to Minneapolis in November, in Minnesota. So it's a good time, a great game, and I really love the European community, and I hope I get to meet some of you in person. That's it. Thanks a lot.